My daughter laughing at me in the background because I love Lil Uzi Vert. Shout out to him. Now I do what I want. Now I do what I want. Leos do what they want. Leos do what they want. And then in August, we do what we want. It's almost August, y'all. Midweek check-in. Welcome to Addicted to Astrology. And I am TMZ. And I do what I want. With my Mars in Leo and my Saturn in Leo. Shout out to Lil Uzi Vert, who is a Leo. Alright, let's get busy, y'all. Alright, I'm just going to apply a little bit of shea butter to this glamorous melanated skin I have. Always take care of your melanated skin, especially if you have melanated skin. Am I bright enough for y'all today? Because even though my edges ain't laid, I'm definitely about to shine on y'all. Again, we make shea butters too. So, get yours today. Shea butters. We got tinctures, we got edibles, we got infused foods. We're working on our shine in Leo time, but today, if I can't be overpowered too much by my children. So, where was I? August is not only about Leo season, it is about Virgos too. We're not going to get too much in the Virgo season, but what I'm going to tell you right now, other than this big lineup that I'm calling this title for the midweek check-in, the big lineup, this is the breakdown of the big lineup of August. Okay, then we're going to just touch on the things that are happening this week. Thank you for joining, liking, subscribing, and commenting. Thank you. All right, so August, important transits and happenings. The big lineup for August. Lionsgate portal. When you think of Leos, you think of lions, right? I got my Leo and Gemini, and I'll explain that when we get to Gemini hair going on. And the Lionsgate portal will open actually on Friday, July the 31st. If you know about portals, they welcome in intense energies of manifestation time. So anything you are higher vibing on, any energies that you are putting into the universe, anything you're saying, anything that you are feeling, anything you're speaking over yourself and your family will be good to start doing on July 31st. I will let you know when the gates close. The portal closes. All right. That was July 31st. We're talking about August, but we had to start with that to explain the rest. On the 2nd of August, the Sun in Leo, backing up again, has been traveling by itself since it became Leo season on July 22nd. It has not been it has not made any transits. It has not been aspecting any of the other planets or even the asteroids in the sky, because Leos like to just get their shine. So the Leo sun came in on July 22nd as I came in on that day with my show. Y'all remember that one? One of my favorites thus far, but I think this one's gonna be good too. Anyway, I was saying that the Leo sun has been traveling in the sky, just letting everybody see how bright it is, motivate everybody else to shine on us, shine bright, all kinds of higher level, peaceful, positive, masculine energy. The sun is a masculine entity. The moon is a feminine, on and on with the planets as well as the signs. Anyway, on August the 2nd, the sun will finally aspect Uranus, the planet of Uranus. It will make a square transit. Squares bring conflicts. We're going to talk about a big square for this month too. You know, 2020 has already been lit. It's on fire. We're in a fire season right now. Leo's a fire sign, so it's going to stay lit, but it's going to be a motivating kind of lit, because squares, even though they bring conflict, they also bring resolution. They also bring some positive outcome or opportunity throughout the issue or the situation, or from this issue and the situation. So when the sun in Leo is going to square Uranus in Taurus, Uranus being the planet of surprises and rebellion, some things that have already been unsupportive in you, things that are happening that are not just happening, and you're kind of sick of those things lingering on, and you're just ready for it to go ahead and just say, this is not going to work. The sun in Leo is so positive and enlightening that it won't matter now if that's a surprise. Like, it won't be a surprise like Uranus normally brings. It'll be like a sigh of relief, kind of. Whatever has not been working. And I can actually feel this already. A lot of these transits I can feel. There was some personal things in my own family that were not working. And just even tonight we had a breakthrough. We've been having breakthroughs a lot, but it was a bigger breakthrough. So some squares are positive, even though it was tough getting to that breakthrough. And the breakthrough was actually with the Taurus. I live around all Tauruses. Uranus is in Taurus, so surprises I expect coming from all the Tauruses in my life. All right, on August the 3rd, the Aquarius full moon happens. Now, we are right now in the Sagittarius moon. When I come back on Sunday, we will be in the Capricorn moon, which is my moon again. And that is going to be part of the bigger lineup that I'll speak on later on. But that Capricorn moon is a big piece before the full moon in Aquarius. So I'm just going to leave that there. All right, so the Aquarius full moon on August the 3rd, it happens at 11:59 Eastern Standard Time, so it really happens on August the 4th. A cleansing moon it shall be. Aquarius is known as the opposite sign, of course. That is why it's a full moon. It is opposing the sun in Leo at 11 degrees, the sun, and 11 degrees the moon. So it is opposing, but it still has similar characteristics as its opposing sign. So the Leo characteristics that Aquarius has is Aquarius is like the wiser humanitarian, the person who brings everybody together, the person who enjoys being in groups and part of, relationships and family and all those kind of things. And Leo is the childlike. So it's like the old wise person is telling us to shake off the old narratives and welcome in the new, because Aquarius also is about welcoming in the new. Like, take the wise things that you learned even from the Capricorn sign before, and take the wise things that you've learned and build on them and make it anew, as Leos would do, in a childlike form, if that makes sense. All right, August the 8th is when the Lionsgate portal will not be closing just yet, but it will be at its peak, because the sun in Leo will also be at its peak. It'll be like right in the center at the 15th. It'll be in the 11th degree, but that's close to the middle of the Leo season, especially on August the 8th, actually. I'm wrong. It'll be at 11th degree on the 3rd, and it'll be at the 15th degree around the 8th, which is the middle of Leo season, which is when it's at its peak. The sun is at its peak. The Lionsgate is kind of course, part of the Leo season, the Leo sun. And so they're both at their peak, and it's when like you can manifest all kinds of things on August the 8th. 8/8, Lionsgate. So 8/8 is definitely a significant day. I have a friend who's born on August 8th, two cousins. So shout out to y'all Leos. And the alignment of the sun, Cyrus, and the earth. Cyrus is one of the, what do you call them? I'm lost for words. One of the Zeus, the gods, that's what I'm trying to say. Cyrus and the earth are all aligned, and they pretty much activate Lionsgate at its peak and opens its portal. So its portal and all of them will be aligned at the same time on 8/8. Then 3 days later, Lionsgate closes on 8/11. We actually had an 8/8 portal gate, same situation that I remember that I was in Vegas with, because I moved to Vegas on August the 1st. Yes, and the Lionsgate did open on July the 31st, and there was an Aquarius full moon then. It was a Leo new moon. It was the Leo new moon on July the 31st back then, and that was when I made my my Florida water, and I'm gonna share that with you all on Sunday. Another thing about the Lionsgate portal, if you noticed in the image I just showed you, that's a really beautiful image. I just got that off of the internet somewhere. I forgot the link. But shout out to him. I think it was something called about massages. Soul massages, that's what it was called. It just came to my soul. The third eye was up on the lion. So this is a good time for opening up your heart chakra as well as your third eye chakra. They will be more accelerated, more intentional. This is a time for growth and spirituality, and just alignment of all the things that are coming also in the other transits that I'm going to discuss. Moving on, August the 13th, Mars in another square with Pluto. This is the biggest one. I'm going to just tell you the date, give you a little bit of it, and then I'm going to dig deeper into it after I discuss this big August lineup. So Mars squaring Pluto will be the day of groundwork that will really just, and it's been going on, but this is another square that will really lay the groundwork for months to come. Mars again being an action-taking, the way you express yourself planet. Pluto being the transformational planet. Squares being intense conflict, but coming out some kind of positive resolution. We'll be back to that. August the 15th, Uranus goes retrograde until January 2021. Uranus, again, the planet of surprise. So expect big surprises. I think they're going to start because Uranus also has a shadow period like any other planet when it goes into retrograde. I think it's going to start on August the 1st, or probably around the 3rd or 4th on that full moon. And this kind of retrograde, and I think I spoke about Uranus and Neptune. Uranus is such a tricky planet. It's such a rebellious and tricky, surprising kind of planet that it is not, and actually in Neptune is when, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about this stuff. Leo is exalted in Neptune, that's what I was saying, but I'm not talking about Neptune, I'm just talking about Neptune because Neptune and Uranus, both when they go in retrograde, they can be tricky either way. It's not like it's going to be trickier, it's going to be tricky either way. But the things that we can do during the Uranus retrograde is reflect on the changes that have happened to the collective as well as ourselves, and just be thankful, just be grateful, just notice it, acknowledge it, and go forward with it. Uranus is in Taurus. That there could be surprising finances and not be negative. It could be positive. It could be so surprising and rebellious against things that we never thought could have happened. So I feel like this is going to be a good retrograde with the Uranus in retrograde. I feel like this is going to change a lot of our financial situations for the better, especially if anyone out there knows about Nasara Jasara. But look forward to positive financial things happening in my interpretation of Uranus in retrograde in Taurus in 2020. August 18th, the new moon in Leo happens. We had 2 new moons in Cancer, so the cycle has changed. Normally the new moons were happening at the beginning of the new zodiac season. Now it has switched. You'll notice why it switches at the end. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. But the August 18th, the new moon in Leo will happen. Being in Leo, being new, this is a time, again, for manifestation. I said the Lionsgate closed, I believe, on the 11th. I'll let you all know that. But this is still another time in the week after that you can manifest wonderful things, because new moons always mean new eras, new ideas, new opportunities. And Leo, again, being that motivator, that that having that drive, having that fire in them, this is a good manifesting moon. You can manifest greatness in the months to come. Normally you manifest things that will happen in 6 months' time, but this month is looking so lucky and positive that I believe there's going to be a lot of manifestations before the end of the year, and then it'll just keep going as 2021 happens. It doesn't look like it is, but remember, you always have to kind of hit rock bottom to go up. There's nowhere else to go but up when you hit rock bottom. There is nothing better to do than to pull yourself out of something. We will be bold and brave like Leos on this new moon in Leo. We'll be taking leaps of faith and making the most of life, finally, because we've all kind of been down and out, especially with the heavy healing that was done in the past Cancer season. And it's time for us to uplift ourselves. It's time for us to take leaps of faith and know that things will be better. It doesn't even have to be my interpretation. It has to be the vibe, the higher vibration that you give, so that things will get better. If you speak or vibe low, things will not get better. August 22nd, the sun moves into Virgo. So, sorry Leos, it is almost over already. No, it's we still got 3 weeks and some days. So the divine feminine is the Virgo. She's represented, or the mascot, by a version. A beautiful woman, soft, flowy, free to do as she pleases type of energy. The men too. When they are like seeking out things, they do what they want to, just kind of like the Leos with who they want, but it's in a more presentable, dignified way. Leos, again, are perfectionists. Virgos, again, are perfectionists. So looking forward to that season in 3 weeks and some change. All right, August the 24th, yet another square with Mars squaring Saturn. So Mars, and this is what we're getting ready to go into after I finish the lineup. Mars is Aries, in Aries. Saturn is in Capricorn. Mars was also squaring Pluto in Capricorn. So a lot of these Aries and Capricorn situations we're going to discuss. Let me get this out though, but Mars will be also going into its retrograde shadow as well. The retrogrades are heavy this year, y'all, but it's a lot that's going to come out of it, a lot of positive things. So Mars goes into its retrograde shadow around this time too, around August the 24th, because it is going into retrograde on 9/9, on September the 9th. This will bring tension, of course, with the square, but we may get clues on how to fix the tension or how to build from the tension. This square is going to help us get to the root of the problem by taking action on that restriction that Saturn brings. That is what the Mars squaring Saturn will be like, against the 2 planets that are in their home planets. The 2 signs that are in their home planets, Mars and Saturn. Mars in Aries at home, Saturn in Capricorn at home. Lastly, well, let me shout out my friend who is a Virgo. going back, when I said August 15th, I meant to say this. Her 5th year anniversary of leaving this earth and being an ancestor is on August the 15th. And her birthday, she would have been turning, please don't get my math wrong, I think 37 or 36. So shout out to Tanika, Skinny Pimp, Fontanelle. I do this for her. She is Hollywood. She was with me when I was in LA, spirit-wise, and her birthday, she was a Virgo, would have been on August 25th. So shout out to you, Tanika. Love you forever. All right, August the 27th, Venus will trine Neptune. Trine is good. Venus will be in Cancer by then. I'm not giving out the date for that right now because that's way ahead of time and it's a whole lot, but I just wanted to pinpoint. But Venus will be in Cancer by then, trining Neptune because Neptune is in Pisces, so the two water signs coming together. Venus will be the magical union, being the planet of love with its fellow water sign, Pisces. Also the healer, the Cancer sign is the healer, the nurturer. So it will be like a magical union between the free-flowing, positive energy only, the dreamy yet highly elevated sign of Pisces with the planet of dreams and illusions, Neptune. So this will bring creative and romantic vibes being sent out into the entire universe. So this will be a good thing for us and the divine female and male energy of Virgo season. So that's something to look forward to too. All right, y'all, so what we've been waiting for, I try to make these so short, but I know I'm long-winded. I'm going to work on, I know the Sunday was a lot shorter, but I'm definitely going to work on my timing. So let's get to it. The big lineup, Aries and Capricorn. So Aries has, as of on August 3rd, because that full moon will definitely give energy to all these planets and big lineups that we're discussing. So around August the 3rd and the 4th, during the Aquarius full moon, Aries will have Chiron, Mars, what it rules, the part of fortune, not the port, the part of fortune, and Lilith, all in the first house, all in Aries as well. I'm going to speak on the part of fortune in a second. Let me run through Capricorn, because I don't know if we've ever talked about the part of fortune. We haven't talked about Lilith much either, but Capricorn is all going to be in Saturn, Jupiter, and Pluto. And remember, it doesn't change over to Aquarius. So the moon will be in Capricorn too. It doesn't change over to Aquarius until a minute before it's August 4th here on Eastern Standard Time. So 4 bodies in our solar system in Capricorn during the full moon, and 4 in Aries. Okay, Capricorn and Aries are both represented by, Capricorn is the goat, Aries is the ram, both two-horned animals, creatures, and they both are locking horns at this point. They're both butting heads, right? That's all they do when you see them. Like the goat has his head up against the mountain, as if it's like, dag, why do I have to keep doing this? Why do I have to keep climbing? Why do I have to keep trying and trying and trying? And that is kind of like the life of a Capricorn, especially from a Capricorn moon. And then the Aries is just like, getting people out of its way. Aries is also being the leaders of the zodiac, don't want people in its way. Kind of that selfish sign of the fire signs, butting heads to get people out of its way. So this is an aggressive energy coming from 8 different energies, 8 different entities. The 4 in Aries and the 4 in Capricorn. So Aries again is home in Mars, and Capricorn again is home in Saturn, which brings intensity out of both of those planets. They're at their full power. They're both giving big action from Mars, and big energy and big aggression and big expression and saying what is on their mind. And Saturn is also saying what's on its mind because it's sick of the power struggle, sick of being the bigger person. And both are just bossy, aggressive, and controlling. And Jupiter and the part of fortune, Jupiter being in Capricorn, and the part of fortune is kind of like Jupiter's little buddy. Okay, it's not like a planet or an asteroid even. I'm not even sure what it is, but it's like Jupiter's little brother. Part of fortune also brings prosperity. It also brings expansion and fortune, finances. It also brings luck. It also brings internal joy, which is a bonus. And the part of fortune is determined in a different way than the rest of your birth chart is. The part of fortune is determined by your sun, moon, and your rising, your ascendant. It's also determined if you were born in the daytime or the nighttime, because the part of fortune changes from the day and night. So the part of fortune is in Aries, and Jupiter's in Capricorn, which is bringing, like I said, good energy over these negative, conflicting, aggressive, bossy energies. Within all that, like they're sitting there within the intensity. And the other two that are important to look at in the lineup, well, actually, I'm sorry, hold on. So the other thing I wanted to say about the part of fortune, the way it'll bring internal joy and the way it'll bring prosperity and good finances and good fortune are for Aries, because it's over the collective, so we all are giving this energy. It'll be specific for Aries type professions, like essential workers is one, people in competitive sports, even combative sports like martial arts and boxing. This is also for like death-defying, risk-taking jobs like police and firefighters, EMT, those essential workers again. This is also good for people that work with their hands, carpenters, painters, even artists. This is also good for people that handle metals. And one person that I'm going to stay neutral about, Barack Obama, has his part of fortune in Aries. So he kind of climbed to the top in more ways than one, with good fortune, even internal joy through his aggression, like his leadership as a part of fortune, Aries, in his birth chart. So Aries, again, are like the trailblazers, the leaders. They're the first sign of the zodiac, so they are like setting the stage for everyone else. They are they are in their positive mode the most when they feel that they're in power. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Capricorns, they are always standing in their power. They're pretty much at the mastery level of all the characteristics of the earth signs. So they're the leaders, they're the bosses. They are good at what they do. They're the ones in the group that talk and everybody listens. They're the ones in the positive note that are going to build new structures, because they're about structure. They're going to build new ideas and go into Aquarius like it always does after Capricorn. So the positive side is when the Capricorn is supportive and you are supportive of them and their ideas, especially when they're new and they take leadership on making things new. So this is kind of the energies that they're struggling over. in the cosmos right now. On top of all this happening under the full moon, we're still talking about things happening around August 3rd and 4th, the beginning of next week. So Venus, the planet of love, will also be, or is already conjuncting the North Node. They both are in Gemini. They both are close in degree, which means they're conjuncting. Conjunction again means that they're either blending their energies, or one is like outshining the other and blocking out the energy of the other. But the way it looks on the wheel, which I will show you in a second, Venus looks like she's walking over to the North Node like, I know this is my destiny. I know it's key for me to bring love and peace. We're both in Gemini. We're both in the childlike state. Let's start with healing certain issues from the early past of most people's childhood, and let's get this duality of Gemini and this cooperation and friendship and communication piece of Gemini going and flowing in the collective. And let me show you the clip. So you saw in the clip how Venus was so close to the North Node that it was basically they were getting ready to console each other, like they're getting ready to give each other a hug and get, to business. North Node, again, is your destiny, the direction you're going into. So the whole collective pretty much should be going into the direction and perspective of a Gemini. Let's get back to that in a second. A Gemini is also, Venus in Gemini is also going to be sextiling Aries in Mars, or almost everything in in Gemini, Venus and the North Node is sextiling, which is a compatibility to all the things in Leo. Where's my mind? All the things in Aries. Mars, Chiron, the part of fortune, and I don't know why I want to call it Porth, and Lilith. Lilith is our shadow side, what we repress. And her being in Aries, she's taking on more action with what she represses and getting more things done and not holding back. The part of fortune, again, is our good fortune, our luck. So when they're sextiling this planets that are in childlike state, we are kind of starting everywhere that's in Aries and Mars. We're starting in our actions from what we did back in the childlike state with this sextile from the Venus and North Node in Gemini sextiling Aries. We're healing from a childlike state. We've been healing in Chiron retrograde from way back in the day. The port of fortune is like healing your money or healing your luck, or not healing, being compatible and showing love to the luck and things you're bringing, acknowledging it. Lilith, again, is like just coming out of the things you've repressed and taking more action on them and being more of a leader on them, showing everyone that it's okay to be yourself. All right. So the part of fortune and the nodes also are like the way out of the struggle. So the part of fortune being in Aries and the nodes being in Gemini with this sextile will also help us go like where the love can be found. It's helping us go to our destiny of the path of that love is going to take us on. More positive things are coming. I can't stress this enough. Just imagine with this sextile, with Gemini, the wordsmith also, they speak so eloquently sometimes, or they speak so elevated that some people mistake them and what they're saying for something bad when it's positive. This goes to President Trump and how much flack he gets, but he still speaks in his like codes. Some of us know what he's talking about, but positive things are coming. Don't always think negative. And just stay away from the negative. Notice the positive things, acknowledge them, move forward. But this is going to be kind of like a clear communication transit with the sextiling of Gemini, of the Venus and North Node sextiling all the Aries placements. Don't want to keep being repetitive. I'm feeling a certain kind of way, like I have to give this energy because so many people are negative and think so many negative things that I just want to keep things positive, and I want to give you so much positive energy and things to look forward to that you can feel a little bit better about moving forward. All right, so the nodes are also for us to, as a collective, even though they're not in the signs that they were in during our birth, they pretty much are what we all are striving for. So this is where I was going with Gemini. By the node being in Gemini, the North Node, our destiny, we are all thinking at a Gemini perspective. We are all meant to communicate well with each other. We are all meant to speak clearly, coming from the childlike state. The node is actually in the mastery state right now, but it's moving backwards. So it is handling at a mastery level. It's handling like a wise person would all the things that we will go through as the Gemini node is taking us through it. Gemini is also the childlike levels is easier levels of communication. It's like taking it back to speaking in layman's terms so that everybody's clear, especially on social media platforms, especially with small circles of friends and things. Communication really can be a negative situation. The Venus conjunction with the North Node will help work together to create the love that we've always deserved. The kind of love, the kind of common ground, the way to communicate that is positive and more understanding. This makes me think of the song from my childhood called Popcorn Love. Any New Edition fans out there, the main line I'm thinking about is when Ralph is singing, I go to school and then I come back home. The first thing that I do is call you on the phone. So I just thought about that one because that's like the puppy love. That's like the kitty love. That's the way everybody wants to be loved, like to be paid attention to communicate. That's a song about communication, actually, and how people did communicate well in the 80s before all the drugs and all the other corruption started. But anyway, all right. The song came out in like 85 or something. I know I was like my youngest age, under 10. But I don't know why. Well, I know why that song came to mind. I don't know why I went that far back. I guess because the whole childlike thing. But Venus is giving like a different vibe than Mars and Saturn gives, especially because Mars and Saturn are just in a disagreement right now, but they're going to come together with the Venus and North Node in Gemini assisting them and all the other planets, because again, the North Node is overall the collective, always, and the South Node. Another thing, Neptune and Pisces will be squaring Venus in Gemini. Neptune and Pisces, the planet of illusion and dreams and higher vibing, will be squaring Venus, the planet of love in Gemini. So this again will be some kind of misunderstanding, especially in text and social media. Again, Neptune brings illusions, especially in media, period, mainstream media. Even sometimes when you do like emojis, even with all the gifts and all the little things you can put to kind of mean what you want them to mean, the inflection is still missing. Like the personality, the personable part is still missing. And that's why people get into conflicts. That's why people think one thing and don't want to believe the other, or believe one thing and don't want to think the other. A lot of denial comes from Neptune too. So this is a square that may produce goodness or a balance, or like, you know, a respect an understanding, a forgiveness of those arguments from the past on text, on social media, on all those things. And I'm looking forward to that because I fell out with 20 and plus people in 2020. But anyway, we aren't meant to stay in conflict, right? We are not our Aries and Capricorn placements. We are not, as a collective, the Aries and Capricorn placements, unless it's Jupiter and part of fortune. But we are to take awareness of it and just to notice when we are having issues that we can't get past because of these transits, or because we just don't feel that way. Maybe fighting against some things that we need to pay attention to and acknowledge. The node brings that gateway to a better destiny as well. So also the opposing sun and moon, Leo and Aquarius, both at 11 degrees on August the 3rd, is definitely another way to kind of balance out opposing energies, squaring energies, all these energies that tend to bring conflict. The ruler of Aquarius is Uranus, which is in Taurus again. And in Uranus, it has the ability to be a free thinker. Aquarius does. Taurus is kind of a fixed thinker, a fixed sign. So the full moon squaring Uranus and Taurus will definitely break some of that fixation. It'll ease it up a little bit. Aquarius is a fixed sign too, but they'll work together in the square, in the conflict, to come to a resolution. Leo, again, was alone. The sun was alone in the sky, like a child, a happy child, a free child that doesn't care about all the arguments going on with the other planets. It doesn't care about all the transitioning, bringing some conflict. And the Aquarius moon being like the older, wiser energies, but in a newer version of them. Even though they're both fixed signs and they can both be stubborn, like a stubborn teen for the Leo, or a stubborn child. I would say a stubborn teen, that's when they really get stubborn. And Leo, for Leo, and then the Aquarius being like that elder that everyone goes to for, a situation, but that elder is also hip. That elder is also like, go ahead and do your thing. This Aquarius moon and oppositioning the sun in Leo will, and this elder could be stuck in their ways too, but they both will refuse to be on a lower vibration. They both will want to vibrate higher. Fire wants to burn high. Air wants to stay high. Elevation. All right, Jupiter amplifies Mars in Aries, squaring directly both at 19 degrees. So again, Jupiter in Capricorn, Mars in Aries, another square. The anger is running its course. The full moon will illuminate the path, illuminate the path coming from the Aries energy to lead the path to the Capricorn energy. So it's a partnership. The Aries will take front and the Capricorn will take the back. The squaring and issues will continue, but they will still move forward and begin to resolve. There's a lot of squares this month. There's a lot of conflict. And the biggest square of them all is the Pluto and Mars square. So I've been talking a lot. Let me take a sec. So as more people are become more aware, become more enlightened, become more elevated, more high vibrating, the light shines on them. The whole Leo sun, the whole Leo season mood, the whole energy. And the more people get in tune with astrology, with spirituality, with themselves, the less the arguments will be, the less the conflicts will be, the more things will get resolved and less things will linger. You know, there won't be any more old narratives there won't be any more old narratives or old beliefs or old decisions or old restrictions, because they'll be so worn out, and there'll be some new ones being made while working on toughing this energy out. And the universe will ultimately bring higher vibrations out of everyone. Of course, everything is a process, but it's been coming for a long time, and we're in the midst of it now. And that's why it's so tough, because we are ultimately that Pluto energy, that Pluto generation in Capricorn right now, that is giving rebuilding, restructuring, especially being in retrograde. All right, but the biggest square is the Pluto and the Mars square, which has actually been going on for a while. It started in March. Mars is your individual will and your action, your expression. Pluto is the will that comes with our actions and with what we express. It takes away our ego and it brings us into alignment. It really breaks us down, Pluto does. So in Capricorn, that goat that is going to tough it out is definitely going to tough it out with that ram trying to get all the action. And from May the 1st to January the 6th, 2021, for 5 months, these two have been squaring. And actually, they're going to be squaring. They've been in a square for 2 years. It'll be the end of it in 2021. So the first cycle of this is actually called the crisis in action type of square. You're assessing your actions and your expression, and the way you're expressing yourself is in a new phase of alignment. And as a collective, we are all attempting this right now. Like, we're all trying to figure out, as we're in the crisis in action, and it started again in March, which is when the lockdown started, right? When the whole pandemic started, that was the crisis in action square. That was the first one. And you're just kind of assessing. Everyone is kind of saying, what should we do? You know, what are we about to do? What is this new phase? Because we know we're not going back. You don't need astrology to know that we're not going back to before March in any kind of way. But the squaring of Mars and Pluto is going to last for 2 years, I believe. I didn't write down the exact dates for the other ones. Just wanted to talk about this one. The reason it's so big is because Mars is such an effective large planet, the closest one to the sun. Mercury is the closest one to the sun. Mars is a fiery planet. And Pluto is just, it's one of those planets that's out so far, but because it's out so far, it gives its most energy on the entire universe from far away, because it's so far, because it's so deep, because it's dealing with so many things far back. Mars in Aries is the willing to take risks again, the initiative, we learn, we grow as we go, and it's also, on the negative side, impulsive, reactive, it's quick to anger, it's aggressive, it's violent, and it's ego-based. That's another thing with the square that's so huge. Pluto represents Scorpio, even though it's in Capricorn. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So Scorpio is also ruled by Mars, and it's like, it's Scorpio in there too, kind of trying to dig deep and trying to promote change. And it's going to happen, because the squaring is going to be positive. It's going to be tough. So in this 2 year period, we may see all versions from both ends of the spectrum, from intense to okay, back to intense, for 2 years, with this Mars and Pluto squaring each other quite often. There'll be brewing energies, especially the brewing energies that came from the first square back in March. It created the protests that came in April and May. People are standing up more for their rights, and the square will intensify for most of this year, especially. Then when Mars retrogrades in September, and it doesn't end until November 13, 2 days before my birthday. And actually, I think Mercury retrograde goes then again, and it ends the next day, the 11/14. Just in time for me to be okay on my birthday. Mercury was in retrograde, I think, in my birthday last year. But anyway, a time for reflection. This is a time for conscious actions and expressions during this Mars in retrograde. And if it's not worked consciously, the negative side of Mars and Aries comes out. Those that I spoke of, the impulsiveness, the reacting, the being angered quickly, the being violent, aggressive, and selfish. So reflect and be more conscious in Mars in retrograde, and we'll talk more about that in September. All right, support is coming from Chiron in Aries. Chiron is still in retrograde. Chiron is the wounded healer. It is helping the Mars and Aries heal itself, because Aries, again, has to do a lot with itself. And it's also triggering your actions and your trauma. So it's always a way to work through that. Then again, Lilith being in Aries is coming in to help, lead the pathway of you coming into yourself and coming into your masculine and feminine coming back together. Aries, again, being the leaders, Lilith being the one who decided to go against masculine energy in the Bible and in astrology. But now we're kind of bringing that energy back together to get kind of what Lilith wanted in the first place, and that was to make her own decisions, to do what she wants. That Leo energy again, but in Aries, the other fire sign. Yeah, we're almost done. Hopefully I haven't talked an hour today. Lilith comes from the times before the earth. Okay, so there was a time when the age of Taurus happened. So again, the ages go backwards, just like the nose. So we're in the age of Pisces. We're going into the age of Aquarius. It's going to take another 400 years, but it's still going to take, the way this earth goes and these people on this earth, it's going to take us a good 400 years to transfer over to a newer level, a newer realm, a newer paradigm. But back when before Lilith, because we're talking back before people, we're talking about when the age of Aries happened. That was when the sun and all the people came that dropped. That was when Genesis happened. That's what I'm trying to say. But women, the feminine energy was known as the earth, and men were known as God. And there was no hierarchy, there was anarchy, there was balance, there was mutual respect between feminine and masculine energies. There was no people, but we're talking about the sun respected the earth. And with everyone in all life forms being respected, where we have come from them now, that's what I'm talking about, how long it takes. It takes each age 2,500 years. So how long it's taken to mess up all that, to mess up the respect, to mess up the balance. The age of Aquarius is going to improve that, bring it back at a newer level. Newer approaches are coming for us so we can get to that level. New opportunities, that we are learning now, and we're moving into this new paradigm for all humanity, which is also Aquarius. And ultimately, we cannot go back to the old patterns. We cannot, they just don't fit anymore, and they need to be changed. And our big lineups are going to make those changes and make those drastic conflicts that are going to bring resolution. So just always know and grow, acknowledge, stay positive, higher vibrating, shine. It is your time. Leos and everyone, especially Scorpios, everything it ends in O, Virgos. All right, y'all. Thank you for tuning in to the midweek check-in. I am TMZ, teaching everyone abundantly, empowering many. Zakia, I will see y'all on Sunday. That is the new moon Eve. I'm sorry, the full moon Eve in Aquarius. And we'll talk more about that. Y'all have a great rest of your week. Be safe. Love you. 11/11. Peace.